Today we will show you how to do wiring of Prusa i3. This is uh, this is not a standard or this is not something which is fixed. You can route the wires as per your own convenience, but this is just for a quick reference if you want to know that how you can route the wires. First we will look at the extruder assembly. So from here you can see that these are the thermistor wires of the hot end, and this is the heater cartridge wire. So you can keep the hot end orientation in this way and just route the wires from here. Okay, and you can keep the fan, the hot end fan, on the front side, and this is your print fan. Okay, and its wires has been routed from here. You can see this wire, this red and black wire, it is running all the way from here. This is the motor wire. As you can see, this is the print fan wire and this is the motor wire. So both the wires are coming here, and now what we have done here is we have attached all the wires coming from this side and both these wires in one with the help of zip ties. Okay, and then you can use this plastic corrugated flexible pipe, and you can enter all the wires in this, and then you can take out all the wires on the at this end. So this is the wiring of the extruder. For the Z-axis motors, you can cut the wires as per the specified length, and then you can take out the wires from the hole of this frame. Here you can see there is a hole in this frame, and from this hole you can take out the Z-axis wires, right? Similarly, you can do the same thing with the other Z-axis motor. You can see that we have taken out the wires from this hole, and using these corrugated flexible pipe, you can insulate these wires. And you can see that we are running the Z-axis motor wires all the way from this end to this side, and for the Y-axis end stop, this is the Y-axis end stop, right? This is the Y-axis end stop, and we have brought this wire into this corrugated sleeve. It means that the this Z-axis end stop, Z-axis motor, the Y end stop, okay, and this Y motor, you can see that we have routed these wires into this sleeve. So all these three items we have bought into one sleeve. So then we have routed them all the way to the main ramps board. So this is how you can route the wires. Then this is the heated bed, the thermistor and the main two wires. Thermistor is under the bed. So thermistor and these two power wires, all the wires has been put into one sleeve, and then we have brought them to the main board, right? So, and this is the power wires, power cables. You can use this sleeve, and you can attach, you can guide these wires with the help of these sleeves. These are the three main wires which goes to the main inlet socket, and these two wires goes to the ramps board. So now we have guided these two wires from here all the way along with this frame, and we have bought these two wires here, and here we have attached these to the main RAM's power supply. This is the wire which is bringing in the main power supply cable for heated bed, and the thermistor is going out from this, and we have joined the thermistor here. So this is how we have done for the bed and for the main power supply cable. You can tie all these sleeves with the help of these zip ties with each other, so that they don't loose, they are not loose and not hanging. Everything should be tied properly, so that once your printer is ready, and if you move it, nothing is hanging loose, so that they don't interfere in the transportation. Now we have routed all these wires of the extruder all the way from here, and then from here you can cut the wires as per your convenience. Okay, and you can then connect, and you can use more sleeves if you want. This is just for your quick reference, and you can do it in a even much better way, right? So once you have brought all the wires here, then you can route them, cut them, put into sleeves as per your convenience and whatever is more comfortable to you. And this is your fan duct, RAM's cooling fan. It is mounted here with the help of M3x12 socket head, and this is your 40 mm fan. Make sure that this fan and the small fan, this hot end fan, these are running continuously during the operation of the printer. So you can connect them either directly to the main RAM's port, or you can connect them directly to the 12-volt power supply here, so that they are continuously running. Whereas this print fan, you can connect this to the D9 port that is here on the RAMs. Okay, because it can be controlled with the help of the software during printing, and it is basically for cooling the prints, especially if you are printing with PLA. This is your hot end connection, and this is your heated bed connection, and this is your main power supply connection. Make sure that the polarity is maintained. That is, this is the positive, this is negative, positive, negative. Similarly, this is positive for the bed, and this is your negative. This is again positive, this is negative. For the hot end it will not matter, but for the fan and for the heated bed, the polarity will matter. Especially in case of heated bed, if you will reverse the polarity, your the electronics might get damaged. Whereas in case of fan, if you reverse the polarity, the fan will not work. You can just simply change the wires, right? Then for the x-axis motor, this is your x-axis motor. You can bring the x-axis wire like this way, but make sure that the x-axis wire is kept loose enough, because this is attached to the entire gantry. This is the x-axis gantry, so this x-axis gantry will move up and down. So make sure that the wire is loose enough so that it can move along with the gantry. Similarly, you will also have to take care of the x-axis end stop. Here the x-axis end stop which we have shown is the earlier one which we were using with our Prusa i3 kits, but now we have a different end stop which will actually be mounted in the front side. That is, it will be mounted here. The new end stop is mounted here, and the gantry goes like this, and the extruder body, this will click the end stop which is mounted here. So once you mount it here, you can route the wires this way. You can take the wires from here, or you can guide the wires from here. but make sure that the wires of the end stop are also loose enough, because it will also have to move along with the entire gantry up and down. Similarly, like the Z x-axis motor, that is why we have kept this wire loose. Okay, and then this is your Z-axis end stop. So you can cut the wires as per your length, because this will not move anywhere and this has to be fixed. So you can cut the wires as per your convenience. And this is your Z-axis, this is for leveling the your axis. So you can, with the help of this screw, you can fine tune the gap of the nozzle with respect to the bed, because here you don't have to move the end stop again and again. You can just tighten this screw or loosen it, for adjusting the gap. So this is very convenient, and you won't have to move your end stop, or you won't have to change its position again and again. So this is about the wiring of the Prusa i3. This is just a quick guide, and it is not something which is very standard. You can also change the wiring as per your choice or whatever suits you. And in our next video we will be bringing a much better version of Prusa i3 for guiding the wires. It will be very, very simple as compared to what you are seeing now, and it will look much more better, and it will perform much more better. So for now, and one more thing, you can mount the power supply using these two holes on the frame. These two holes, right? We have mounted it using the flathead M4 screws. In the similar way you can mount your power supply. And that's all for as of now. And this is your belt, x-axis belt tensioner. With the help of these screws you can properly tighten your belt, and you can see that the belts in our Prusa i3s are as tight as it can be. They are not loose, and there is no lag in the belts, both for the x-axis and y-axis belts. And we have a better y-axis belt holder. It does not use any zip ties. Similar is the case with the x-axis, right? I'll show you. Here you can see that there is a screw here. If you can see, there is a screw, this button head screw, this screw. Right now, from here you can see this screw, right? It can be loosened or it can be tightened for if you want to take out the belt, or if you want to fit it into the x-axis, you can use this screw to take it out easily. So this makes adjusting the x-axis belt very, very easy. And it is not only about the zip ties, but with the help of that you can easily fit your belt onto the x-axis. This is your LCD. LCD is fitted by using M3x18 screws along with the Z-axis part. The screws will go all the way from here and will come out on the back side, M3x18, and then you can fit them with the help of the M3 nuts. Whereas for this you will use M3x10. For Z-axis you will use M3x8, 3 M3x8 for mounting the motors on the plastic parts on both the sides. Whereas for mounting this plastic part onto mainframe, you will use M3 into 10, 3 M3 into 10 for each plastic part. For x-axis motor, you will use one M3 into 18. This is the one which will take M3 into 18, and 2 M3 into 10. This will take M3 into 10, and this here will also take M3 into 10, right? X-axis, all the end stops are already mounted on their plastic parts, so you don't have to worry about mounting the end stops. The extruder assembly is given as it is, completely assembled, and all the parts, the x-axis idler and the x-axis motor, are also fitted with bearings, screws, and nut for the z-axis. So basically what you have to do is only fit these smooth rods into the x-axis parts and fit this entire gantry, entire extruder assembly onto these, and just tighten your belt and fit the entire gantry onto the x-axis, and then just attach these couplers to the motors, attach these z-axis rods, and your printer is ready to roll. So this is the easiest and the simplest Prusa i3 assembly which you can get. It is not completely unassembled, and it is almost 70% of the machine is assembled, right? So this is how you can assemble it. Y-axis is completely assembled. You just have to fit it into the main frame and just tighten these screws, these M10 nuts onto the frame on the both sides. Just make sure that while tightening the nuts, the frame is properly sitting onto the ground. It means that none of the feet should be above your ground level. All the feet should be properly fitted onto the base. Otherwise, if any of the feet is above the ground, it will cause issues in the leveling. Right. We generally tighten all the screws once we dispatch it, but you can adjust the level of the nozzle with respect to this by tightening or loosening them. Just make sure that the level is not too less, because if it will be too less, the filament will start moving upwards and it will jam the nozzle. So even if the gap is slightly more, then there will not be there will be no damage to the hot end. But in case if the gap is very less, the filament will move upwards and it will jam the nozzle. So just make sure that the level, initially it can be slightly more with respect to the bed, and you can just adjust it either by moving the end stop or by using this screw, right, or by loosening and or tightening these screws here of the bed. So but be careful that the gap should not be too less, otherwise it will cause the jamming of the nozzle. Okay, and this is the direct drive extruder which we give. It is very simple to use. You can just use the filament. You can just press this lever here, and once you press this, you can see that a gap is created between the bearing and this drive gear. This is the drive gear, right? So once you want to insert the filament, you can just preheat it for PLA up to 220 and for ABS up to 245, and then you can just press it like this and insert the filament from the top of this hole. This is the hole for inserting the filament here, right? And just keep inserting the filament while pushing it while pressing this lever, unless it starts coming out from the nozzle. So once the filament is coming out from this nozzle, you can just leave this lever like this, and then your printer will be ready to print. And in case if you want to take out the filament, similar way, you can just preheat the hot end up to 220 for PLA, 245 for ABS, and then just press the lever and quickly take out the filament from the nozzle. And this action has to be very swift, otherwise it will lead to the jamming of the filament. in the nozzle. So just press it and quickly extract the filament, take out the filament. So this is the easiest and the quickest way to insert and extract the filament into the nozzle. So this is just a quick setup, and we will keep on bringing more and more videos, which will make the assembly and running of the machine, more easier for our customers. Thank you.